Raise your hand if you know you have a unique impact that is only yours to discover. Beautiful. So what is an X factor? This is sort of the Webster's dictionary. It's a noteworthy, special talent or quality. I like to say it's an intangible superpower within every individual that carries the key to the unique innovation that you were born to share. And the other thing about your X factor, if you've ever learned anything about it's similar to the genius zone, superpower, however you want to call it, it's the same thing, okay? It's what happens when you're in your zone and time stands still. And most people overlook their gift. They basically, it comes so easily to them that they don't value it. I'm on a mission, like my greatest mission on earth is to inspire everyone to know that your gift, the thing that you do that's the easiest for you, that's like, it's crazy that it's so easy, you would just bypass it and go do things that are hard because our culture tells us that working hard is what's valuable. And I'm here to share that the thing that comes the easiest to you is your highest value asset. And to like change the paradigm, because Tony Robbins teaches that you got to model your mentor. Success leaves clues. It's like the foundation of the coaching industry. But the problem is that modeling has a shelf life. You can't just model and then you think it's just you're gonna show up as a unique person because you look and sound just like the people that you're modeling. It's impossible. You've got to break out of that. And the thing is that when I do this talk to people, I'll share and we might do some brainstorming. These ideas start to pop around things that you might never have thought of integrating your gift into your business or into your mission, integrating that in, and you're gonna be like, but it doesn't make sense. Like for instance, a woman who's a singer who helps people, like a business coach, she never brought her singing in. I said, well, what, your clients don't even know you're a singer. She's like, don't you think it would be valuable for you to do so? I'm not saying she says start doing singing coaching. We'll talk as we go forward. But the energy of your gift needs to find a way in. It could be the metaphor of singing. It could be, the visual or using it in certain ways in the coaching practice. And she goes, it doesn't make sense. And she was like, it doesn't make sense. And what she's basically saying is, I'm afraid to bring this in because it feels unnatural. It feels like everything I've learned, this is counter to it. And so I want you to see that this is gonna take that innovation leap. So step number one here in finding your X factor is what we call mining for gold. What lights you up? So what is it that puts you into a flow state? And what comes easily to you that you downplay? So I'd love to hear from a few people. What lights you up? Yes, go ahead.
A big white canvas, a big brush, tons of paint. Go in for it.
Beautiful, amazing. I can feel the energy. Jenny.
Wearing costume.
Yes, let's go. Nice. One more? Yeah, back in the back. Dancing, exactly, right? So you feel that, and I want you to get that it's not just a hobby. If you stop looking at it, if you do, at least, look at it like it's just this thing I do. You know, it's kind of like when you work a job, I work many jobs, and people go outside and they have a cigarette break. It's like, this is like, my hobby is this thing I do to get this little relief from the pain of like the thing I gotta do day to day. That's gotta end, because the thing you do that you love has to be inside of the thing you do every day. Then you don't need to go outside to have a little break, because it's always fueling you. That's what we call clean fuel. Awesome. So we have these zones of genius, right? We have the incompetent zone, the competent zone, excellent zone, genius zone. So the once over on these is basically incompetent zone, things that you're really bad at, you don't like doing, are really heavy for you. Competent zone, you can get it done, but it's really exhausting and it's not your favorite. Excellent zone and genius zone are kind of hard to track for certain people. Like, you've learned it so well that it's become second nature. You might think it's your genius zone because you're really good at it. But the thing is that you do have a point where you get kind of burnt out if you keep doing it. Whereas the genius zone, there's like no end to the fuel. So I would love to hear from somebody, what's something that's an excellent zone for you? Something you learned in your life that you're really good at, but maybe is not your greatest skill. I'll tell you for me, writing lyrics is excellent zone for me. Freestyle rapping is genius zone. Like, writing lyrics takes a lot. Like, I gotta work it, and I've gotten really good at it. But I can freestyle rap for like 20 hours straight and like not even sleep, and I'm like happy to go for another 20, right? In the genius zone, I want you to even think about more than one thing. So In my genius zone, there's coaching, there's speaking, there's transformation, there's being intuitive, there's performing, there's freestyling, there's having inspiring conversations, getting creative, being creative. These are things that are happening when I'm in my genius zone. So I want you to think of multiple things, because the thing about your genius zone is it's cross-contextual. Sometimes when I do this conversation, people will be like, you know what, when I'm working with people in my practice, I do X, Y, and Z. I'm like, well, but doesn't that happen when you're with your family too? Because if not, then we're not talking about genius zone. If it's only in your practice. So what are 2 things that you do that put you into that flow state so you can see what the commonalities are? What's happening in those that are the same? So the common themes, I just shared the common things that like are in my genius zone. These are the things that are behind all those things. Being present, improvising, expressing myself, inspiring through communication, words, intuition, rhythm is one thing. Your genius zone is a central beingness that you have that's easy for you. Are you guys following me?
Yeah.
Tracking? Okay, great. So that's part number 1. So number 2 is what we call the X factor formula. So this is where we put your X factor into words. And this is the most powerful thing, because when you put it into words, you now have this guiding principle, right? It's like always knowing what your X factor is and having a single sentence to describe it. Can you see the value in that everywhere you go? It's like having a dashboard of exactly what I should be doing either in my business or my life or my purpose. That's like where the greatest value is, right? So that's why for me, being up here, speaking, you know, performing, like these are the things that have the highest value, not just for me, but for the world. And so knowing what my X factor is going to help me to make decisions. Like somebody says, hey, I would love for you to do X, Y, and Z. And I'm like, it's not really in my zone of genius, you know? You can sort of filter your decisions based on that. So the formula is what I do plus why I do it. What I do plus why I do it. So what I do is this beingness, this energy, this one sentence that describes your unique genius. For you, Brian, for instance, it's like I learn easily, or I synthesize information with ease that comes at me or something, right? It's like a single thing you do that's like the what, right? And so if you guys look at those commonalities, what I do. Does anybody want to share a what I do?
Coach entrepreneurs.
Okay, so again, it's not context specific, right? So that's a very context specific thing. So we're looking at something that's cross-contextual, right? What are you doing when you're coaching entrepreneurs? That's going to be the energy that vibes with you.
You're pulling me way too out of the linear mindset.
Yeah, exactly. That's what we're here for. Yeah, no, that's why you're here. Linear need to get more creative. Creative need to get more linear. We got to stretch, right? Go ahead. Yeah.
I bring ease and flow.
Yeah. Ooh, you got chills. Love that. Yep. How about you?
I transform lives because I love creating order out of chaos.
Yes. Beautiful. Yes.
I build trust and rapport.
Nice. Amazing. All right. So my X factor is I inspire people through dynamic expression. So when you boil it all together, what I do is I inspire through dynamic expression. So when I'm expressing myself dynamically, I'm inspiring people. That's literally like cross-contextual. It's happening in coaching, it's happening in speaking, it's happening in performing, it's happening in conversations with people that are deep, right? It's happening when I'm intuiting. And the why I do it, and I find the why to be a much easier piece for most of the people, because we've done a little bit of work up to this point on like what's our calling, our purpose, something like that, right? So why I do it is to help individuals activate their most self-actualized life. So I'm all about actualization, okay? That's what I'm here for. That's what I love. I love helping you find your calling, right? That's what we're talking about. So I inspire people through dynamic expression to help individuals activate their most self-actualized life. That's my X factor. John over here, I got John as a case study. John connects deeply through authentic communication. If you know John, you know that this guy, he will connect with you and the conversations are deep and it's a loving feeling every single time you're in his presence. And the why he does it is to create communities that inspire love and unity. And this is encapsulating everything that I know of John. This is a powerful, powerful awareness for John to be able to have this. And we know this, and people know this about John, but it's good for John to be able to say it. And
share why
yeah,
it's so
please,
powerful
please,
is
please.
that I've dealt my whole life with like being too intense for people, and this allows me to go all in with who I am. Just to have a blank check on my personality and just go big, and not everyone's gonna get it, and that's okay. But it galvanizes the people who do get it. You know, we're not playing for everyone. You go nuts trying to do that. You water yourself down too much. But this allows me to go in by owning my X factor.
Love that. Thank you for sharing that.